Tashi Lake, welcome to the history chapter, The Making of Global World. So this chapter is a very interesting chapter, even though it is a lengthy one. But this chapter is very important to study because through this chapter, we will be able to understand about the ancient period. At the same time, we will also come to know about how the modern world or how the global world came into being. So I have divided the whole chapter into 5 lectures. These are: in the first lecture, we will discuss the introduction part of the chapter, in which we will discuss about the meaning of globalization. And then in the second lecture, we will discuss about the pre-modern world, in which we will discuss important points like Silk Route, food travels, diseases, trade, and migration. And then in the third lecture, we will discuss about the 19th century, where we will discuss about the world economy take shapes, technology, colonialism, indentured labor. And in the fourth lecture, we will discuss about the interwar economy, in which we will discuss about the First World War and the Great Depression. And then in the last lecture, we will discuss about the rebuilding world economy, in which we will discuss about the Second World War and the Great Bretton Woods system. So that is the overview of the chapter, The Making of Global World. Welcome to the introductory part of the chapter, The Making of Global World. So the making of global world means the making of modern world. So modern world means the world that we are currently living in, where everything is so advanced and where everything is closely connected with each other. If something happened in one region, this effect will be felt over the other region because everything is connected with each other, right? Every region is connected with each other. Just take the example of COVID-19. So this COVID-19 originated from the region called Wuhan in China, but this effect was felt all over the world. This shows that how the modern world is closely connected with each other. So the making of global world is based on the concept or the idea called globalization. So many of you must be wondering what globalization is. So globalization means it is a movement of people. It is a movement of goods. Goods means things, and services from one nation to another is called globalization. So this globalization exists or from the last 50 years. Even though it was started 50 years, but this globalization is not a new phenomena. It is not a new situation, right? This movement of people and things and services exists from the ancient time. So from the ancient time, there were a movement of goods from one place to another in terms of trade. There is a movement of people from one place to another in search of work or in search of better job opportunity, right? So there is also a movement of capital also. Capital means there is a movement of money from one region to another for investment on the buying or selling the goods. So the globalization is not a new phenomena. Even though it is not a new phenomena, but this globalization has transformed the society that we live in. So now in the second lecture, we will discuss about the pre-modern world. Welcome to the second lectures of the chapter, The Making of Global World. So in this class, I'm going to discuss a very important topic called pre-modern world. So pre means before. So pre-modern world means a period before the modern world came into being. So here we will be mainly talking about the ancient period. So in the ancient period, a large number of peoples like travelers and dua, priests and nganzugi lama and laura, traders and tsongba and laura, pilgrims and nganzu nekurni. They travels a vast distance to get a new knowledge in order to gain a new opportunity, in order to have a spiritual fulfillment, and sometimes they travel a vast distance to escape persecution. Escape means to free themselves from the ill treatment, persecution and ill treatment laura. Ta ko sa de sa de la kurang sa de sa de la min de ko la dukcha chewa che ta de ni ko thare chi do ani sa shin ban do res. While moving to a new area, while covering a vast distance, they also carry a large number of things with them. Not only that, they also carries ideas and different skills, and sometimes they also carries germs with them. Okay, now we discussed that in the ancient period, a large number of people moved from one place to another. At the same time, there is existence of transportation of goods from one place to another. So the route which is used by the people to travel from one place to another, or the route that is used by the ancient people to transport goods from one place to another is called Silk Route. So Silk Route is very important in the ancient time. So Silk Route was an ancient network of trade route. So this route is mainly used for the trade purpose. Okay, so this route, the Silk Route, was introduced in 114 BC and it was used till 1490 AD, which means it was used till 15th century. So Silk Route is very important because through this Silk Route, a large numbers of regions were connected. So one regions were connected with another region. In the case of Asia, this Silk Route helped Asia continent to connect with the other continent called Europe and other continent called Africa. So Silk Route is one of the most important route through which peoples were moved from one place to another. At the same time, goods were transported through this Silk Route. So many of you must be wondering how this route got its name Silk Route. That is because when this route was first introduced, at that time the first item or the first good that was transported was Chinese silk. So because of that, the route is called Silk Route. Not only that, this route is very popular for the transportation of large number of Chinese silk. So because of that, it is also called Silk Route. But it doesn't mean that this Silk Route is only popular for the transportation of Chinese silk only. A large number of others goods were also transported through this Silk Route. Example like Chinese pottery, right? So Chinese potteries was also traveled or were transported through this route to the other countries. Not only that, textile and spices traveled from India and Southeast Asia to the Europe, right? So from Asia, a large number of silk, spices, and textiles were transported to the Europe. Not only that, from Europe, a large number of precious metals like gold and silvers were, transported to Asia. Now you can see that Silk Route helps in transportation of large number of goods from one place to another. So not only the Silk Route is helpful in the ancient time for the transportation of goods, right? But it is also helpful in an exchange of culture, right? So culture means here we are talking culture la nang rikshung laura ta dina la ngang gi se le dure dina ngang gi choba khidan le dure dina ngang gi chulu le dure dina ngang gi ki le dure ani ngang gi de gyundu ani khari khari chi yu di chama le dura ngang gi she da ani ngang gi she thabya tang tangaya da di chama dina le dura ta Silk Route ki chala chikpu yama tangaya le phen thogo mares transportation che le phen thogo mares this route de gyuni and culture mangbuchi exchange ha do re lo hausa the contest rel and we will take about the example of spread of religion be di langa de gyuni and spread mangbucha yures chulu mangbuchi di gyuni kyab yures the contest rel and mama tangbo kachilana Christian missionaries mangbuji Christian missionaries na kalore Christian koron tsugi the mi lama indira to in kunzu kachore by using this route they went to Asia right in order to spread their religion koron tsugi Christian gi chulu de ph the kunzu gi the route Silk Route de gyuni and Asia la dores and koron tsugi chu de mangbuji pe ra yores awasa ta di khari tengo relana and di langa de gyuni chulu mangbuji pe to yores not only that lo gyara mangbu jelaya Muslim ki preachers nde Muslim preachers means Muslim koron chugi chue shenge nde mi mangbu ji khajire di langa de gyuni doni ya sa je shemban de la koron chugi chue Muslim ki chue ne mangbu ji pe tu yore la di sama male nge la Buddhism religion de ani sa je shemban mangbu ji la ani di langa de kyab yores much before all this the Buddhism emerged from the eastern India right Buddhism la de chue de nangba chue le da nangba yi chue de khani start chagyo rela na originate chigyo la na gyagar ki eastern part ni ani start chigyo res originate chagyo res ini chisu saje shimba mangboji la di chulu di kyabyo res di khandis kyabrela na Silk Route ki ni kyabyo res now we can see that the oldest religion through which the Silk Route has helped to spread is Buddhism. Then after this, the Christian religions were spread, and then after this, the Muslim religions were spread, right? Okay. And when historians got to know that in the ancient period there exists a route, right, called Silk Route. So the historians have a detailed study on this Silk Route, and they came to know that the Silk Route exists on the land as well as on the sea also. Silk Route अनि 추강라 bedu ani sagangla bedu lan khonjigi kharichidure identify chitures. As you can see, the red line shows the land sea route, Silk Route, and the blue color shows the blue line color shows the Silk Route on the sea. So that is all about the Silk Route. So Silk Route is very important for the transportation of goods, and not only that, it is also important for the cultural exchange also. Silk Route not only helps in transporting goods from one region to another, Silk Route also helps in cultural exchange. As we have already discussed, one example of a cultural exchange that has taken place with the help of Silk Route in ancient period, that was the spread of religion, spread of Christianity, spread of Islam, spread of Buddhism religion with the help of Silk Route in ancient period. Now we are going to take another example of a cultural exchange that has taken place with the help of Silk Route in ancient period, that is food travels. So in ancient period, food also traveled from one region to another. So food provides us a good example of a long distance cultural exchange in ancient period. So the trader are the one who introduce new crop to the land they travel. So some of the example of a food that has traveled from one region to another are noodles and pasta. So noodles are the food which are originally from China. Later this food traveled to a western country and it is called spaghetti. Not only that, pasta is the food which is originally from Arab country. Later this food traveled to our island called Sicily in Italy. So these two provide us an example of a food that has traveled from one region to another. So let me give you a few more examples of a food that has traveled from one region to another. So what you had for your dinner? I had potato. So do you know that the common food that we eat in our daily life, like potatoes, soybean, groundnut, tomatoes, chili, all these foods are introduced to Asia and Europe only after the America was discovered. This means that the potato, soya bean, groundnut, tomatoes, chilies were not known to our ancestors before 500 years back in India. That is because these common foods are not originally from India or not originally from Asia and Europe. These foods are originally from America. So these foods are made available to Asia and Europe only after the America was discovered. So America is a very vast continent, and this vast continent was discovered by Christopher Columbus in 1492, which means we are talking about 15th century. So America was discovered in 15th century. Before 15th century, the other part of the world, the Europe, right, Africa, right, okay, Australia, they did not have idea about having or existence of a vast continent called America. So with the help of Christopher Columbus, the other part of the world come to know that there is a vast continent exists that is called America. So America is a very vast continent that consists of three regions. So uppermost is called Northern America, and the bottom is called Southern America, and the middle is called Caribbean region, which consists of numerous small islands here. So as we have already discussed, when the traders, when they go to a new area, at that time they introduce a new crop to that place. So this new crop give a life to that new place. At the same time, this new crop also causes a death to that new place. We will discuss the two examples here, giving life and causing death. That is, when the humble potatoes, right? was introduced in Europe at that time, these humble potatoes has helped the European poor people to eat better and live longer. So actually, these humble potatoes has given a life to European poor people. Now we will discuss another example of a potato that has given, like that has proved a deadly or that has causes a death in the another region. So there's this country called Ireland in Europe. So when this potato was introduced in a country called Ireland in Europe, at that time the island poorest peasants they became so dependent on the potato that what happened is that in 1840 a disease spread. So because of this disease, it destroyed the whole potato in Ireland. Since the peasants were so dependent on the potato that when the potato was destroyed at that time, hundred and thousands of peasants died because of absence of potatoes and starvation. So this example shows that this very humble potato, which has proved beneficial for the European poor people, has proved deadly for the country called Ireland in Europe. So the new crop can make a difference between the life and the death. The next subtopic that we are going to discuss under the pre-modern world is called diseases. So from 15th century to 17th century, the Europeans started exploring the world through ocean because they were looking for trading partners. While exploring the world through the ocean, they came across a very vast continent called America. So this continent is not only vast in terms of area, this continent is also very rich because it has abundant crops and minerals. Especially a country called Peru and Mexico in America has a large number of precious metals like silver. Not only that, the European also got to know about the El Dorado. El Dorado means the fabled city of gold, a city which is full of gold in America. When they got to know about this, many European people they went in search of these El Dorados. So at that time, the Portugal and the Spain were the two most powerful countries at that time in Europe. These two nations has a very strong army and a firearm. So in mid 16th century, the Portuguese and the Spain has already made a planning to conquer the America. So finally, the Spain conquered the America, but they did not use any military weapons at all. So what did they use to conquer the America? So the Spain used a germs which causes a smallpox, a disease called smallpox, which was carried on person, was spread in America. So when this disease spread in America, America was not able to resist this. America was not able to fight against this disease because America did not have any knowledge about this disease because they have stayed away from the rest of the world for millions of years. So because of that, these smallpox proved a deadly killer. Deadly killer means these smallpox has killed a large number of people in America, and it has reduced the whole community in America, and it has made easier for the Spanish to conquer the America finally. So if the Spain has used a military weapon, then America would have like potential to fight it back, but not the disease which they are not known to. So this disease has proved effective for the Spain to conquer the America finally. Let's talk about the trading in ancient period. So ancient period or in pre-modern world, the main center of trading is Indian Ocean. So Indian Ocean was very known for, or it is very popular for its busy trade in terms of goods, in terms of peoples, and in terms of knowledge. So Indian Ocean was the main trading centers in pre-modern period. Since Indian Ocean lies to the south of the India is the main center to the all this flow, all the goods, flow of goods, flow of knowledge, and flow of like people. All these take place through the India. In this Indian Ocean trade or in this Asian trade, the two most important players are India and China. So India and China are the two most important players in this Indian Ocean trade or in this Asian trade. but it did not stay for a long time because the European sailor has found a sea route to Asia and America. So, because of that, a large number of European countries started participating in this Asian trade or in this Indian Ocean trade. Because of that, now the trading centers shift from Indian Ocean to the European side because of major participation from the European country. Not only that, during this period, China started cutting off from the rest of the world. China decided not to connect with the rest of the world. Because of China's reduced role and the rising powers of America, finally the trading centers shift from Asia towards the Europe side. So that is about the trading, when it comes to the pre-modern world. The last subtopic that we are going to discuss under the pre-modern world is called migrations. So migrations means moving of people from one region to another. During pre-modern world or during ancient period, a large number of European people started migrating to America. That is mainly because of three reasons. That is, during the pre-modern world or during the ancient period, the condition in Europe is very poor because most of the people live under the poverty and the hunger. So poverty and hunger were common in Europe. So because of that, in order to have a better job opportunity or in order to have a better living standard, a large number of European people started migrating to America. Not only that, the second major problem in Europe was that cities were overcrowded, and because of that, these spread a large number of deadly disease. So, in order to avoid this, also a large number of European people started migrating to America. Not only that, the third major problem in Europe was that the religious conflict were common. There's lots of conflict happening between different religious groups. Because of that, it caused a huge disturbance in the society. So, because of all these three reasons, a large number of European people started migrating to America during the pre-modern world or during the ancient period. So we have come to the end of the second lecture of the chapter The Making of Global World. I hope everyone has understood clearly. So in order to make it more clear, I have come up with few caution for the revision. So please go through this question and make sure that you understood all the question clearly. So write down in your notebook and I will see you in the next class. Till then, stay safe.